Welcome to How to Use a Flipped Classroom Design in High School English with Mrs. Lopez. Flipped classrooms are not just designed for math and science. They can be easily incorporated into our English classrooms. In a flipped classroom, you're able to self-pace in a variety of ways. But in our classes right now, we're under a 10 to 15 minute mini lesson or chunking up a guided practice. So there are 3 different ways that you can flip a classroom. The traditional model would be where a student watches a video beforehand and then practices in class where you're able to provide support. But you can use this to either revamp a lesson you don't like or to complete a whole unit using this model. And then of course there's an in-class flip, which seems similar to a stations with a flip video component. Using this method is to totally revamp your class curriculum. Using the traditional model, I took one of my lessons for annotated bibliographies. This video kind of describes the format of it and what each section should include. Now, instead of having some kind of fill-in-the-blank notes, they say to vary how you have them respond to the video. It can be personal responses, it can be a discussion board where they're talking about what particular thing that you mentioned in the video. So for here, after watching this, they should be able to write a student-friendly explanation for either the summary section or the evaluation section. So then when we come into class, I can have them create their first entry where I'm able to walk around and help them write it. And therefore it's better use of my time than having to lose 10 to 15 minutes to explain it. And then of course the questions of how to further explain it. Here they can stop, watch the video, and take it at their own pace. So that's the traditional model. Now, if you're not ready to jump all in with using a flipped classroom for the entire curriculum, you can do it sporadically with a lesson, or just to kind of change things up, or you can use it for a unit. Now, I'm still using the example of writing a research paper, but one of the worst lessons I had this year was about talking about citation. It was, they watched a video, they worked in pairs to come up with the citations for the examples provided. Now, I could have them watch this ahead of time, and then I can have them upload a screenshot of a citation from their research, or I can tell them be prepared to analyze or take a pop quiz tomorrow over this information. So that way it would give them some incentive to watch this. That way I'm not wasting 11 minutes of class time to watch this video. And then maybe I can do some fun activities like stations where they actually practice using MLA citation, which would severely bring up the class engagement and more practice for students. But Mrs. Lopez, I can't go all in on technology, even if it's just for a lesson or for a unit. So the option would be for you to have them read in class. There was a teacher I researched who had a blog, and she said she had her students read a novel in 2 weeks. It was of their own choosing. She would create mini lessons, and then the students would read for the remainder of time with her assessing and looking at their blogs. These blogs were used with EduBlogs, and it was a way for them to process their thinking. So they used the right to learn method. So based on whatever strategy or skill they were trying to use that day, they would then process in a blog at night. Most of us complain that they're not reading on their own, so now we can coach them through reading by using this flipped model method. Here's information about EduBlogs.
You and your students are probably already using services like social media networks, video creation, presentation builders, and other useful web tools in your classroom. And all these can certainly be great for student motivation and learning. But our experience as teachers is that just using technology in a lesson isn't enough. There must be glue that ties everything together, a central location for students and teachers to publish their creations, and there must be a safe place to encourage reflection and collaboration. That is exactly where EduBlogs comes in. Blogs become the home on the web for learning and sharing. Since 2005, we've powered over 2 million blogs for students, teachers, and educators. For teachers, a class blog will be your online hub or class website for keeping students and families informed. You can publish assignments, calendars, resources, and important news. For students, EduBlogs extends the classroom by providing a safe and engaging platform to publish their work, all from any device including tablets and phones. With a blog, you and your students will have access to powerful learning tools that you won't find on other blogging platforms. And teachers maintain total control over their students' privacy settings and content using our unique advanced class management suite. It couldn't be.
This method was created by Maria Ramirez, and she is currently writing a book with Carolina Rodriguez Butrago.
Hi, this is Jennifer Gonzalez for Cult of Pedagogy. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a teaching configuration called the in-class flip. The pattern for a traditional flipped classroom goes like this. Instead of using lots of valuable class time delivering content to students, then having students apply that learning at home, you flip that arrangement, pre-recording the direct instruction and having students watch it at home, then doing the application part, what we typically think of as homework, in class. This arrangement is great when all your students have good home access to technology, but if they don't, the flip can fall apart. And access isn't the only problem. Some homes aren't conducive to the kind of learning that a traditional flip requires. Although districts are working on creative solutions to address these challenges, an in-class flip provides another alternative. Whereas a traditional flip depends heavily on things going right at home, the in-class flip keeps all parts of the flip at school, thus assuring that more students get the benefits of the flipped concept.
In-class flip is to solve the problem when you can't have students watch videos at home or interact with content at home. So instead, you create a flip station which would provide the instruction, whether it's paper-based or technology-based. Then they have a practice station, a feedback station, teacher support station, peer instruction station, or the independent station. Now, independent means it's for any fast finishers, so it'd be like extra resources that go more into depth and rigor. A feedback station could be feedback on this lesson that you're doing. Now, if you're using this in flipped classroom, you don't have to have the stations laid out just like this. There are different types that she recommends to use, so I'm going to go through those right now. So sequenced has more to do with how great your classroom management is. You are able to set a timer, they start at flip station 1, and you move them through. What I've done in the past when it had to be done in order, students were grouped together and they just had all the materials. So when I pushed the timer, they watched the video, then they did the next practice activity, so on, so that they wouldn't have to move. And that's just one idea. With mixed, it's more of a free-flowing. So they are at the practice stations. They go to each one that is not busy. The flip station is there if they need to go back and refer to the video that they should have watched or the video that they need to refresh the lesson. The independent station is told if you finish early, that's where you go, which would discourage those early finishers. Lastly is looped. This does not have to go in any order. That means the students can all start in the middle stations and then just go out to the flip stations if they need more information or if they're having some type of confusion. In this model, and the last two that I've shown you, you as a teacher are circulating, helping those struggling learners to better understand. In the half and half the students are working on a flip station, which is some kind of video instruction or practice activity, and then the other half are getting taught something that is maybe extra tutorials or different structures or strategies. with you, and then you just flip them at halftime. And this is a video of Maria Ramirez's setup at one of the trainings that she does for English learners. And she just provides the stations. She uses clear instructions on what to do. When she tells students what to do, she just gives them a brief overview of what they're doing. She does not go into depth because the instructions are there at the station. And she says when she did this activity, no one asked for clarification on the instructions. So that was key to her having a successful in-class flip. Thank you for watching.